What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another one. Thanks for being here. Today's about one thing and one thing only. That's adding power. Before I'm gonna get to install the JLT intake that I have, along with the LUND tune, I'm very excited to see what this does to the car. I think it's gonna kind of wake it up. It feels a little sluggish. By no means is the car slow, but it does kind of have a little bit of just sludge to it. I don't know if that's a good way to describe it, but if you've driven the car, you know what I'm talking about. So hopefully this tune wakes it up, get a little bit more air in there with cold air intake. Some people say you don't really need a new intake with the 18 and 19s because it's already so good. I mean, I just went ahead and did it anyway. I feel like it's not a bad thing to do. It's definitely not gonna hurt, and I got a really good deal on it. So I'm not gonna waste any time. This is gonna be a straight to the point video. So let's get to it. Alright guys, got the old one off and time to put the new one on. Alrighty guys, we got the JLT cold air intake on. Looks much better than stock. It's much bigger than stock. It was not that hard to put on, I'm telling you. If I can do it, literally anybody can do it. I mean, there's nothing to it, nothing to it. Let's go ahead and load the LUND tune up and take it for a spin. All right guys, so we're gonna load the stock tune on here. As you can see, saving vehicle calibration. The stock tune is backed up, so now we're going to go to load tune. And that's what we want right there. It's the only tune. Flash this tune. Yes. Take approximately 11 minutes. Alrighty. Turn key on. Do not start engine. Easy enough. Initializing communication. I guess, I really didn't know any better. And now it says do not unplug the tuner, saving stock calibration. Seems like that's what it just did, so maybe I did a completely unnecessary step there. Oh well, better safe than sorry, I guess. Alright guys, it says tune successfully loaded. So it says turn key off for 10 seconds. And let's start it up. It's really loud. It sounds louder. I don't know if that's ridiculous or not. Alright guys, tune is complete. I don't really have a real LUND windshield or vent clip. I kind of just finagled one out of something that I already had. Got the gauges up right there. It took a while for the air to get cold. I don't know if that's just me or what that is, but it's all good now. And I kind of feel like the RPMs, watch and listen for a second. Kind of stabilized now. They'd get as high as like 800 and then go down to like 700. It's almost like it was going up, down, up, down. It was kind of weird for a second, but there it goes lower, back up. I don't know. It didn't seem like it did that before, but let's go take it for a spin. This driving portion is gonna be in 3 stages. I'm gonna just drive it normally for a little bit in all 3 modes, just kind of see what it feels like just to drive the car normally. And then we're gonna go do some pulls, some first gear pulls, some second gear pulls, you know, really just rev it out and see what this thing feels like, roll some gears. And then I'm gonna end the video with just talking about my overall experience with LUND, what I think of the customer service, what my experience talking to them was like, you know, getting the tune, paying for it, my interaction with them, everything like that. So here we go. It's gonna start out normal mode right now. Got the gauges on the N-Gauge, and just see if we can tell a difference. Now, I guess I should say I did pair this, as you know, with the JLT intake, so I'm kind of reviewing these things at the same time. You know, I'm gonna think of them as one unit because I can't have the other one without the other one. So, you know, I don't know how much of this is gonna be the intake and how much of it is gonna be the tune. So for the purpose of this review or this impression, I'm just gonna think of it as one unit, the JLT intake and the LUND, just the regular tune. Sorry, I know the sun's in your eyes. I'll be turning here in just a second. First pull out, initial reaction, you can definitely hear that intake. You almost hear like a whisper, or like a psst, I definitely hear it, and I did not connect the sound tube, so that's just, I had the sound tube on the stock one has a sound tube, and I did not hook this one up because you have to actually drill into it. And I can definitely hear that intake. It sounds like, you know, air, like it's sucking air. You can actually hear it, so that's kind of cool. It sounds different. Once I get up here and actually get on it, I'll see if it sounds even more different, but it sounds like a broader sound, like just a beefier, like more engine noise. So, actually I have a caught behind me, so I'm gonna putt it for a little bit longer. Shifts feel good. Feels, I know I have not got it on, well, got on it at all, but it feels like feels almost as though it's just getting up to the speed that I want with, you know, more ease. All right, not a whole lot of difference that I can tell, just normal driving, that's to be expected. I don't know how much, you know, different one would expect just from driving around normally, but it is kind of cool to hear that intake. And like I said, it does feel like it's taking a little bit less, you know, acceleration or a little less work on my part to get it up to the speed that I want it to. So I don't know if there's too much to speak on there. I'll put it in, actually, let's keep it normal mode, because normal mode is one of my biggest complaints. It just feels so sludgy and slow, and just like, I don't know, compared to sport and track, I understand that there's supposed to be a jump up in performance in the modes, but normal just feels incredibly lackluster, just like asleep almost. So let's keep it normal and then work our way up through the modes like that. We're about to get up on the service road up here, so we're gonna actually do some pulls. Slide in here, get the windows down. You can really hear that intake. It's pretty cool sounding. Wow, it definitely sounds different. All right, we're gonna have a nice little opportunity to do a pull right here. Downshift. getting first gear. All right, let's do a pull in normal mode. Wow. Okay. Okay. Oh my gosh. That feels incredibly awake. Wow. Normal mode has never hit like that. That thing, I didn't shift very well, but that thing was pulling. I kind of had to stop because that car was pulling out in front of me, but I immediately tell a more woken up difference in normal mode. Let's see if we can. Okay, real quick thoughts. It sounds different. The whole car sounds different. I don't know if I'd say the Corsa is exactly like, the engine just has a more broad, like a bigger sound to it. I think that's got to be the intake, probably just sucking more air. So definitely the sound, and it pulls way harder. This is just in normal too. This is pulling what, like track mode, I mean harder than track mode. This is pulling harder than track mode felt, and we're normal. All right, dumbasses, get over. You knew the lane was ending. Wow, okay. Well, normal mode, I can absolutely tell. It just pulls. It seems to pull, and it seems to pull more consistently throughout the RPM. I know before it was kind of sluggish, then it hit some power in there, and then it felt like towards the end it kind of let off again. That feels very much quicker response and just more power all the way through. That's just in normal mode. So all right, I'm gonna do a little first gear pull here in sport mode, see if we can tell. Wow. Wow. That felt more like a punch. That went and did not stop pulling. That thing got to 95 like that. I didn't even top out third gear, and I was feeling like I had to pull back. Wow. All right. Okay. It sounds even, the size of the sound that I was talking about sounds even bigger now in the next gear, or the next driving mode, obviously with the exhaust getting louder, but man. GTR. Alright guys, we're gonna throw it in the track now and do a pull and see what that sounds like. God! That just... do a little second gear here, get to like 4,000, go. Man. Woo! There's a cop. And there's a cop. Not a good place to do a pull. Alright guys, so I just got done kind of whipping the car around in all 3 modes. So after I have more time with the car, then I'll come back and give them a more solid opinion if it's worth it, some more ins and outs of it, and just a more detailed thought overall. Real quickly, I just wanted to end up, I guess, speaking very briefly on my experience with LUND so far, and the experience that I've had. So I bought this, the Engage that I have, actually off a Facebook group. So I bought it pre-owned. So it was married or locked to another car as far as I knew. And he told me that LUND would unlock it with the purchase of a new tune. So I went ahead and purchased that. I kind of did it just on trusting his word that 1, he knew what he was talking about, 2, that he even asked him. So I got it. Once I got the Engage in, I purchased the tune and emailed them basically telling them, hey, this is where I got it from. I heard that you'd unlock it with a new tune, with a purchase of a new tune. And they sent me an email almost immediately back telling me how to unlock it, what to do, how to update it, just all the ins and outs or whatever. He said, okay, I'm gonna put your tune in the queue, give us a couple days, and we'll send you the file. So it was only like a day or 2 that went by, and I got an email from another guy, and it was the tune file, and he said, hey, here's a link for directions on how to do everything. It was very straightforward, very easy, very helpful. The whole thing, I mean, there was the one day when I was trying to figure out how to unlock my tune and all that, I went back and forth with them about 6 or 7 emails, and every time, man, it's almost like I was texting somebody. Like, the reply rate was very fast, very quick. I didn't wait on them for anything except really just to get the tune once we got it unlocked, and that was only like a day or 2. It was actually earlier than what they told me it was going to be, so that was a nice surprise. Now, the downside is they work on a business hour time basis, so it's a Monday through Friday 8 to 5 type deal. Very brief responses. I mean, like that. It's like I said, it was almost like I was texting somebody. Every time I rechecked my email, I had the response back, send it. It was very quickly. Very nice guys, the 2 people I talked to. And the downside to that though is that time window. So if you need them, if you don't have time to talk to them in that time window, you're going to be waiting for responses. It's going to be kind of like email tag. If you can only have the evenings to do this type of thing, or just the weekends, like, you're not going to have that quick response rate like that. So if you have an issue on the weekend or anything like that, that time window does kind of suck. I've heard, and I don't know if this is still the case, but like Palm Beach Dyno, if you email them anytime on the weekends, on the evenings, like, you'll get a response. Like, they kind of work around the clock, or check their emails around the clock. And I don't know all the details about, I know Palm Beach is newer, LUND's been around forever. Maybe they have LUND has a more established kind of business model, like, hey, we come to work in this time window. Outside of that, you don't need to work. And Palm Beach Dyno is really trying to get on the map, so they're just, anytime, anything you ever need, and if that'll change, I don't know. I knew I was going to go with LUND. I didn't do a lot of research on Palm Beach Dyno. I just know they are newer, so I kind of had a theory that maybe they're just newer and they, they're just responding anytime just to try and get on the map. I could be totally wrong in that, and if I am, I do apologize. Just a kind of thought on that maybe that's why it is. But however, why doesn't really matter. The fact that you could get a response from Palm Beach Dyno at any point might give them a slight leg up on LUND. But if you have time during the day to do this kind of stuff, it shouldn't be an issue at all to get responses. The only downside I could see is if something goes wrong on a weekend, you kind of SOL until Monday morning. So that's gonna be it for this, guys. You heard my impressions while driving the car. I guess just a quick wrap up. It sounds much bigger. I can hear air noise, like a higher pitched air noise that was not there before. That is without a doubt the air intake, the JLT. So that's pretty cool. You can definitely hear that driving when you're accelerating or just cruising. You can hear this air. It's just like an air noise, like a high pitched air noise, and it's really cool sounding. Honestly, that's without the sound tube. So definitely a bigger noise. The engine, everything just sounds bigger. It sounds meaner. It sounds more like an animal. And everything pulls much harder, much faster, and much longer. So that's one thing I did notice. It doesn't have that kind of sluggish get up, low RPMs. It really goes. It pulls very hard in that mid to late range, and that high RPM, it stays in the power. Like, it pulls all the way through to 7,000-8,000. So much more consistent, much harder pulls. And man, when I was in first gear in sport and track and just punched it, like that first gear floor wide open throttle, I mean, it threw me back. Like, it felt like a punching acceleration. So thumbs up there. I'll have a more fleshed out thought review, say in a week or so. that's gonna do it for this one, guys. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sticking till the end. I appreciate it as always. If you haven't, smack subscribe. Stay tuned for the next video. I'll see y'all soon.